Welcome back to Buck What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard. You follow me and I will follow you back. We are the day before the game with the Denver Broncos, the Melvin Gordon-led Denver Broncos going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am joined today by my co-host, KB, Kenny Barrett, not to be mistaken for Shaq Barrett. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, my man. I'm doing
He's got
fantastic.
the Barrett jersey on, man. You got that Barrett feeling. It's good. It's good to see somebody rocking the Barrett jersey. And a little bit of slander out there for some of these folks that are mad because Shaq isn't getting no sacks. But again, my philosophy's always been sacks are sexy, but where it really counts is when they're getting them quarterback pressures. And again, Zach Jarvis, first man on the scene. Zach Jarvis, you got to call in, brother. You got to call in. I am actually opening up the phone lines as we speak. I'm running a little bit behind y'all, but we about to make this happen. I do want to hear from you guys because this is where it's at right now. This is what this is what football should be about. Basically, getting out there and supporting your team. And it looks like I think we're good. I think we are live here. So I'll get the phone line. I'll get the phone number up here in just a few minutes and I'll get people on here. Rarely even, I don't know. The red jerseys, I don't care what you say. The red jerseys are fire. I don't care what you say.
I love the white ones, man. I think they're fucking clean.
Yeah. So I'm good. I'm good. Rarely even. I'm trying to forget those jerseys ever existed. The majority of fans felt that way. I'll take them or leave them.
If it wasn't for Shaq, I wouldn't have this jersey. If I'm going to be completely honest, because the Barrett thing, I had to
yeah,
so well. I didn't think they were going to change for a while, and it was just perfect timing.
Yeah. So again, man, this is going to be an exciting game to me, and I think we'll chat a little bit, and I'll get as soon as you see the phone line number come up, give me a call, and I'll go ahead and get you on. But what are your first thoughts about this game? I mean, we're doing this on Saturday because all your injury reports are in. There aren't any game time decisions. We know what the rosters are going to look like. So for you, now that you're looking at this matchup, how does this look to you?
I mean, it's hard not to get excited for the possibility of an easy W, but you just can't.
There's no such thing in the NFL.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You just can't let yourself have that mindset, because the more news that comes up with all these injuries, and there's a possibility that Jerry Jeudy might not even play.
Yeah.
From what I read,
that hamstring.
Yeah, and it's me. I think it's ribs, but
okay. Who am I thinking of that has having a hammy on that team?
I think someone had they have every sort of injury you could probably think of. On somebody
significant. I have to go back and look at it, and I do apologize for not being as prepared as I should.
Tomato, but as long as he's not getting injections from his team doctor,
keep him away from his chest.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited. I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible because I think week one really tempered a lot of my expectations. So being able to see them, there was one bad throw I didn't like last week that obviously got picked, but for the most part, I think the offense took the steps in the right direction. I want them to take another step because I think our next two opponents have very good defenses. So I want to see how they do, and I just hope this defense balls out because I think they have every reason not to, succeed. But I'm afraid of just Jeff Driscoll having some Daniel Jones vibes, but that's the only thing that scares me is his legs. So hopefully our defense just comes ready to play, and there's just no hesitation, just 0 to 100.
Yeah, Zach Jarvis said it's Devontae Harris. That's who I was thinking about.
Yeah.
With the soft tissue injury. Yeah. Shout out to Cannon Fire Podcast, real good friend of the show. We're definitely working on getting some things together where we'll have them on.
Yeah, great podcast. Give them a follow.
Yeah, definitely. Rarely even was saying, and then funny, the same people who are calling Gronk washed up and has been are now criticizing the Bucs for not throwing him the ball. Yeah, everybody wants everything. Like I said, and I stand by this. I've been saying this since the offseason. It's about wins and losses, folks. wins and losses. I'm not going to trip about who's under center. I'm not going to trip about who's starting. As long as these teams win, that's what it's all about right there. That's what it comes down to. And I think people need to have that mindset. And I'm going to keep saying this on every single show we have. I want to be talking about who our opponent is in the postseason, not who we're going to be drafting in the postseason. That's the whole mindset that Bucs fans need to get into, not who lost their job or who's going to get their job, because everybody's going to get their touches. The season is long. And with no preseason and you worry about these injuries, we've seen every team hit by this injury bug, even our own team. And all you can do is just cross your fingers and hope that your team comes out as healthy as possible. What do you think?
Oh yeah, man. What if the Bucks go into Mile High and then all of a sudden half the defense goes out, kind of like how the 49ers are? Like that could be that's the worst possible situation you could occur, let alone your starting quarterback on top of, the injuries on defense. And I just need this team to be healthy because the depth, especially along the offensive and defensive line, is just, nil. So
yeah, rarely even says we have a shaky history against backup quarterbacks. I attribute a lot of that to talent and the coaching and the schemes. And I really do believe that that won't come into play. I think my fears were kind of squashed after this last game because you would have thought that Teddy Bridgewater, that would have been the game, a guy that's slow and steady, and he gets the ball where he needs to get to. I thought the Bucs defense handled that very well. I feel like you're going to see a little bit more of that this week, and I think that this is a good opportunity to get reps to players that haven't gotten reps. I think it's going to be very important. Sean Williams from Under the Dome podcast, New Orleans Saints, my friend of the show. I've been on his show as well. Thank you for checking us out. That's appreciated. And like Zach Jarvis says, you got number 12 under center. So things are different. And in my opinion, I just feel like things are different. You got a healthy Devin White, a guy that you didn't have at this time last year, who's out there and he's balling out. Got a year under his belt, man. And he's lived up to my expectations.
The Devin White thing's amazing to me because I'm not saying I hated Devin White in any sort of way, but he was one that I didn't think the Bucs were going to use him the way that he best could to be successful. Everyone talks about, the whole Derwin James Vita Vea thing. Mm-hmm. If Derwin James was in Mike Smith's defensive scheme,
it would have been
we're not seeing all pro Derwin James. We're seeing, Jordan Whitehead, but Derwin James just more talented. It's the same kind of thing, but with Devin White, seeing him, he's blitzing more, he's being more effective. He's attacking, which is what he does because Levante can clean up his messes. But for the most part,
thing is, you've got a legit defensive coordinator calling plays back there.
Oh yeah, let me tell you, the more I watch bowls, because I started watching some more Jets tape this offseason, but the more that the more he talks, he's very vanilla in the way he talks, but you can tell there's a lot of stuff going on up there.
Yeah, and I mean he's dialing up these plays, and it's just like, wow, where has this been, for the past decade? And this guy's, but again, you've got a collection of the talent, and you've got it along with the play calling, and I think you've got a good situation back here. The defense was something that I wasn't really concerned about in the offseason. My whole thing has been like special teams maybe or something like that, but the defense was not one of those things that I was really concerned about. And I rarely even says I've seen the Bucs lose that exact game we just played, let them hang around and eventually come up short. This time we put them away. That's exactly right. The defense has been a liability. I mean, I can go back to 2009, and there were games that the Bucs had won. Quarterback is walking off the field, and the Bucs defense can't hold up their end of the deal. That's just been ongoing for like I said, for years.
You like that? You like that?
Oh God, that still sticks in my mind right there. I mean, even going back to the Youngry Bucks, man, when they were going out there, doing their thing, but again, they would just come up short. So, rarely even that is a great point, man. And I'm happy with what I'm seeing from this defense. The secondary. I'm sure the secondary has exceeded a lot of our fans' expectations.
Carlton Davis, man.
Who saw that?
No, not me, because I thought he was going to be a PI machine even last year. But then
Mm,
it seems like ever since that D Hop game, like he's just been, just building and building
right,
and building
right.
because he shut out Mike Thomas, man. Which to me, like, I'm not one to say Mike Thomas is the number one receiver in the league or anything, but like the dude's pretty damn good at what he does, and he plays in a close quarter scheme and he's physical. So Carlton Davis did his thing, and I think he did a great job last week too. So I mean, I'm excited because I didn't think he could be a number one corner, but I think he stepped up. And Sean Murphy Bunting and Jamel Dean offer different skill sets that are very valuable to this defense.
Yeah, most definitely, man. That's definitely something that I'm looking forward to, man, because we haven't had this for a while, and this is something to kind of be confident about. Somebody brought up a very interesting point in the comments about the short field.
Oh yeah.
TC Baby One was saying, yeah, the defense defended a short field because of the quarterback, and they were able to handle it. They were able to handle it,
For an
and
entire season, not for like 4 games, like
yeah,
probably at least 10 or 11 of those games.
yeah.
Like
So
that's serious.
yeah, so again, and I've got the number. I've got the number up here now: 813-358-8154. Hit us up. Come on here and let me get your thoughts. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say. This is a fan show. This show is for the fans. If you're listening, checking us out, even if you don't agree with what we have to say, I would still love to hear from you. I mean, there's no wrong way to be a Bucks fan. So, I'm kind of going through the chat here. I love Devin White's mentality. He doesn't care about anyone other than the Bucks, and he wants to be the greatest ever. That's the mindset you want. Those are the kind of people that you draft that want to continue to get better at their craft as they go along. And a guy that we've talked about on here who has tried to continuously get better, Ronald Jones. What is your take on the whole Ronald Jones situation? I hear a lot of people talking about, oh, he's going to lose his job to Leonard Fournette. My thing, and I'm going to start with you, and then I'll come in after and kind of give my thoughts on that. Folks, if you do have an opinion about Ronald Jones or anything else, be sure to call in 813-358-8154.
Yeah, man. I mean, Ronald Jones, whatever happens, he's going to have a role on this team. I don't think anyone should really freak out. Leonard Fournette is, for everything that he's done in like Jacksonville, he's a very talented running back, and until he really gets a grasp of this scheme and they give him more opportunities, Ronald Jones is going to have his opportunities. Yeah, he had a fumble last week. Yeah, he should have probably had his eyes on the ball instead of the defensive line coming at him. Like, shit happens. Like, he needs to be around those guys like Tom Brady, the Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. They're all going to lift him up. Ronald Jones is a
Mm-hmm.
hard worker. He still has a lot of talent. I think he ran the ball really aggressively and really well in the first game, and then I loved his stiff arm in the second game. So he's still going to have a role. I mean, it's going to be a 1-2 punch. However, whatever way you slice it, whoever gets the majority of the carries, great. I just hope the game tempo and dictates it. And I hope, honestly, Leonard Fournette gets more carries because I think he's the better 4-minute offense. So that means we have a lead. And
Yeah.
that's all that really comes down to. I don't care who gets what as long as this team is putting up points and establishing a consistent run game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was my whole thing. I mean, there's 16 games of the season, and people are talking about what's happening right now, and we're just 2 games in. I mean, you kind of have to temper your expectations for. I believe that Ronald Jones will be a significant runner. We saw glimpses of that with the stiff arm as he went in for the touchdown. This guy is a physical runner, and I do believe that he will play a big part in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers being successful. So yeah, I'm perfectly fine with the way things are. So what I wanted to do next is kind of get your thoughts. What are your keys to the game?
No turnovers. Don't give this Broncos team any chances. And the second one to me would be pressure because JPP's, had a couple good sacks, and Sue got a garbage sack late last week. But I want to see this team, really build on the momentum. I think this is the weakest tackle tandem that we're probably going to face the entire season. So JPP and Shaq need to eat. I think they have great guards in Denver. So I think Vita Vea and Dominican Sue may not be as effective as what they normally are. So I think it's really up to those edges to create constant pressure, but also keep Jeff Driscoll inside the pocket and not allow him to escape.
Yeah. I want to talk about an unsung hero that, you really aren't hearing a lot about. And that's Vita Vea. If you've watched the tape of him over the past couple of weeks, he has been consistently just collapsing in the middle as he's going after the quarterback, and he is so close to getting home. There have been a couple of times where I'm like, man, he's got a sack right here if he does this or this, and it just hasn't worked out for him, but he's continuously getting pressure and it's affecting the run. And that's another thing that I really like is how the Bucs are handling these running backs. I mean, Alvin Kamara, how they handled Alvin Kamara, and then the next week you have Christian McCaffrey. So I know that with Melvin Gordon coming into this game, he's going to have a really tough challenge going up against that Bucs defensive line.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. And then one little unsung hero for me is Antoine Winfield. I think having him changes the entire dynamic of the defense from a consistent basis.
Yes. This man, I swear to God, you would not think that he's a rookie.
And
I've watched his play and go ahead.
I was going to say Andrew Adams started most of the season last year. He played like 4 snaps in the Saints game and is what caused that Jared Cook long pass down the sideline just from his one mistake. And that's a veteran who has had success in not only Todd Bowles' system, but I think he was the best defensive back during the previous regime as well when he played most of the season, despite coming in as a late season signing and got 3 picks against Cam alone.
Yeah. So again, just what he's done, he's elevated the game. He's raised the bar for the secondary, and they've got to follow suit. I mean, to keep up with this kid. Another thing, I mean, just watching his nose for the ball and his football IQ is just through the roof. And I'm trying to think of the play. It was against New Orleans, and he was 15 yards off of the ball. And I have to, I'm going to find that play for Wednesday. I'm going to find that, and I'm going to create a GIF just so everybody can see what I'm talking about. He was 15 yards off the ball, closed on this guy, who was it? I think it was Kamara.
Probably.
I have to go back and find it. But he closed on that. He closed on that player, and I think it was for no gain, I do believe. And he was just that fast, getting to the ball, knowing what he needed to do, and sound tackling. And that's another thing that, I've been very comfortable with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers so far this year is they've been very sound in their tackling. And that's been something that has pissed me off for years is poor tackling, poor angles, a la Quan Alexander, just, players like that are just Chris Conti and all these other players that have Brent Grimes. There have been just players that have been in the game as long as they have, but they can't figure it out. So it's just a breath of fresh air when you have guys like Devin White, guys like Ndamukong Suh making tackles, Shaq Barrett, Levante David, and I can't say enough about Levante David. And I know some Bucs fans take him for granted. To me, he's been one of the best linebackers in the NFL, I would say, since he got here, and he just doesn't get the love he deserves.
Line up his statistics against Luke Kuechly and Bobby Wagner for their entire career since they were all in the same draft class, and I'm just going to leave my sentence there.
Exactly. That's all you need to know. Stats don't lie. So I just wanted to get on here and just kind of get your thoughts. What is your final score on this game?
I want to pick a Bucs blowout, but I can't bring myself to do it.
Not the way this team is coached.
Yeah, no, I'll go 31-20. I think the Broncos will be able to, get some points on the board, but I think it'll be an 8-point game and then a field goal will seal it.
Yeah. I'm looking at more of the same of last week where the Bucs get out to a big lead and they go conservative like they did last week as well. Again, I don't know if that's coaching style or what that is.
I think that's Byron Leftwich. I mean, just not having a full feel for games yet. I mean,
because there are teams, and when I look at New Orleans is I'm going to stomp your face in the mud if I can, and that's what they do. 4 quarters of offense is what they do. I mean, from whistle to whistle, that's what they do. And what I see from Tampa is a team that if they can build a surmountable lead, it's all about playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And I don't know if that's execution. We'll continue to keep an eye on this. I don't want to say one way or the other, but I do know that play calling has a huge factor in all of this. So, in my opinion, we'll just kind of wait and see what they do.
Yeah, no. And then I want to give a shout out to rarely even bringing up William Golston. I think that's someone we don't talk about enough as
Yeah.
well. And he does great things in the run game. And even has a sack this year. So hopefully he gets a couple more of those because we don't really have very many high expectations for him in the pass rush. But, he's very valuable and he makes splash plays to me in the run game all the time.
Yeah. I mean, he's getting tackled for losses, and it's just crazy. So, yeah, that's pretty much all we wanted to do. I know it's a Saturday afternoon; everybody's doing their thing, and I just wanted to jump on here real quick and talk about the game tomorrow and what your thoughts are. For me, it's going to be execution. These receivers have to catch the ball. At the end of the day, they have to catch the ball. They have to help out the defense. If the defense gets you a turnover, you got to reward them with points. That's what it comes down to. That's why you're on the field. And people have been talking about Gronk not doing this, Gronk doing this, and I'm just, I'm over it. I mean, again, wins and losses is what it comes down to. I'm not stressing about how many times he touches the ball. If at the end of the game, the Bucs are winning the game, I don't care. I don't care how many times he touches the ball. If their game plan works, then good. That's good. We're ready for the next game. We're ready, to continue to go in there. Because, like I said, my whole thing, my expectations are the Bucs being in the playoffs. That's where my expectations are. Any mistakes that they have, and I love what the Bucs have done, market improvement, and that's what we need to see. We need to continue to see that. So Tom Brady, better communication with the wide receivers, the running game being consistent throughout the game. And even that, I can take what we saw last week, where you had Leonard Fournette coming in and punching the Carolina Panthers in the mouth, just running the ball the way he did. If we get more of that, I'm good with that. The one thing that I will say, folks, is that you kind of have to temper your expectations with Leonard Fournette, because I don't know. I think he's only played one full season without missing a game. So, I mean, if you look at his body of work, yeah, the guy is amazing, 1,000-yard rusher multiple times, but you look at the injuries as well. So definitely keep an eye on that. And I like the balance of running backs. And again, if you get that opportunity, get in there and make a play and just let it go.
Exactly, man. And then for one last thing for me, Chris Godwin, I think he only had 2 or 3 drops for the entire season last year. We had 7 last week. So hopefully he just comes in, keeps us consistent, and he's going to get some of those targets that were dropped last week.
Yep. And Rarely Even brings up a very good storyline. Thank you so much for that. Do you think Shaq will be motivated to beat his former team?
Have you ever been overlooked for a promotion ever in your life? Because that's pretty much what happened to him, because they started hiring people from the outside to take a role that he thought he could do. So They kept bringing these first-round picks and these Hall of Famers. Like, I mean, shit, yeah, he wants to have 5 sacks, believe me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to look good on his resume when it's time to re-sign this man. So I think that Shaq is earning his money this year, despite what anybody else may say. I think he's going out and doing what he needs to do. And again, we're still early in the season. Let's wait and see what happens, in the last game of the season to kind of see where he is. So there is that. Shaq versus DeMar Dotson.
Yeah, but see, I've heard rumblings that DeMar might play, but from what I hear, I forgot the guy's name, but I think he's going to be starting still. But that'd be interesting if DeMar does get into the game, though. I would definitely want to watch him versus Shaq.
Any matchup things, any types of matchups throughout the game that you're looking at?
Yeah, linebackers versus Melvin Gordon. I think that the Broncos, if they want to succeed, being able to keep the ball out of Tom Brady's hands will be a big start for them. So, and Melvin Gordon played pretty well against the Steelers. He didn't have many breakaway runs, but he kept getting first downs, especially in the first half. So, for Devin White versus Melvin Gordon would be a great one.
Yeah, yeah, and again, that's going to be one of the things the Bucks don't want to be complacent. They want to make sure that they're shutting down these running backs as they're facing them. I think they've faced two of the best running backs in the NFL that are healthy right now, and they've done very well against them. So they want to keep this momentum going, and just let's see what happens. But
I agree.
I guess I'm trying to think. Do we have anything else? Nobody's calling in. One more chance, you guys.
Hey, call
813
in.
813-358-8154. So any pregame rituals for you? Do you do anything? This is I haven't
I don't know
asked you this.
if I talk about this, and
Will
I'm
it
afraid
will
of
you
jinx.
drink?
I did something different last week. That
Oh,
worked.
well, okay. I
There
think
we go.
we got I think this may be a Crimson Tide guy. Hold
Oh, T. Smitty.
on.
What if his Bama doesn't make the playoff?
Yeah, that could be ugly. Hey, you're on with Buck What You Heard. Who are we talking to?
You know who it is, Steve Smitty. What's going on, fella?
Howdy.
I heard Kenny over there talking split, but we'll be back at the Roll Tide Invitational this year. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, not too
Not
much,
much,
man.
man.
Let's get your thoughts, man, on this game coming up here. This is a to me, every win's important. Every game is important to me, on the road to the playoffs. So for you, how does this game factor in?
Well, it took me a while to start looking at this game because I was too busy laughing at Saints Twitter all week. But but I think what this one is that they have to take this team seriously.
Yes.
I don't care who it is. This is the NFL. Those guys are still talented. And it may be missing people. Even though they're missing Drew Lock, no disrespect to Drew Lock, this isn't prime Drew Brees and Matt Ryan we're talking about because he hasn't really got him started yet.
Right.
And I think that they have to take it seriously. I think that this team this would be the game where they need to clean up these mistakes, like the turnovers, the penalties, the mental errors for not hanging on to the ball. Those are the things you need to clean up because that's how teams like Denver may sneak up on you.
Yeah.
And not letting them hang around like they let the Panthers hang around last week. So I think the Bucks should win it by double digits.
Yeah.
And control the game on the clock as well.
Yeah. I mean, when you and look at the injury. Here's the Denver injury report. Devontae Harris is out. Philip Lindsay is doubtful. Drew Lock is out.
He's out.
And then Jerry Jeudy is questionable with the rib injury, as we talked about earlier. So how does that figure in right here?
First, Jerry Jeudy do not need to see the LA Chargers team, Doc. Stay away from that guy. Get well soon, Tyrod. But I think this is where a game where we should see a pass rush emerge. The pass rush gets there this week because Denver's line's been shaky for years. Garrett Bowles is like 2 or 3 holding penalties a game. He is. I am glad DeMar did land on that team. I want him to finish his career playing. Have one last hurrah getting on the field at least. He's been a good soldier. But Denver, actually, people are right. They are a rebuilding team.
Yeah.
Jeff Triscoe stinks. I hate to say it. He stunk in college. He stinks in the pros.
I'm glad you brought that up. What made somebody want to sign him? I mean, when you look, I saw a few games from him, and to me, he looked average. I mean, like an average quarterback. I mean, I don't know what it is that a team looks at. Do they look at potential, or in your opinion, what did you see from him that you would say, okay, this guy can make it in the NFL?
He makes more than Cam Newton. How is it possible?
I'm gonna say this. He was in the right place at the right time. Carolina did Cam dirty. If Cam had been released or however that went down.
Fucking God, the dude made $5 million.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, and look at this. Think about this here. He made more than I think Cam Newton and Jameis Winston put together. I think he makes more than both. You can combine their salaries, and it would be more than what those two guys make.
Holy
and
shit.
both are better players.
Yeah.
And this is where the good team may stay being good and the bad team staying bad, because I don't care what you see in Drew Lock.
Yeah.
If Cam Newton's available, we rolling with Cam.
Well, here's
like
the situation. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. What were you going to say, Ken?
I was going to say, how about this situation? What if Jameis hadn't signed with New Orleans? Do you think he'd be a quarterback the Broncos would consider?
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't know. I feel like John Elway.
John Elway's a jackass, man. It wouldn't have happened.
I'm just saying it would be an option.
Speaking of him, you know how funny it is? This is how I hate big box media.
I don't even watch it. They're banned. They're banned as far as Buck What You Heard goes. But go ahead.
Yeah. They spent the past 5 years being like James, Jamarcus Russell, Nate Peterman combined, they had a baby. But now Drew Brees, if anyone watched Drew Brees, the dude's been watched for 3 years. All right, anyone who had a real eye. But now they say ain't gonna replace the guy. Hold on, did you say this guy was the worst thing since the Sega Saturn? Then what you saying? Now you saying that he's a viable option. Which one is it, people?
You know what? That's why I don't watch it, because I don't know. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago when they were talking about Bruce Arians yelled at Tom Brady, and that was a news story.
He's a coach.
But the thing is, that was a news story, and the thing is, I had to see this on my Twitter line. It wasn't like I went out to go watch ESPN or NFL Network and the thing for me, I don't know if you know this, T. Smitty. I think we talked about this. I can go back 5 years, and there was a game with the Cleveland Browns, and I forgot who they were playing. And the way ESPN reported that game, I was like, okay, I'm done. And then they put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won like big, and they didn't even hardly cover it. They gave them like 30 seconds of press on it. So it was at that point I was like, okay, this is how they're going to treat small market teams. I'm done with ESPN, NFL Network. So it's been kind of a challenge for me. Did you hear what they said on ESPN, or did you hear what they said on this show? And I'm like, no, because I don't watch that. I focus more of my energy on podcasts or the people that are around local. I support them because they have a vested interest in our team.
And they watch the game.
Yeah.
And they actually watch the game. Let's be honest here.
It's not talking points. They will actually watch the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What kills me is that they only watch the Packers, the Cowboys, the Patriots,
Steelers.
The Steelers. They still watch the Giants and the Jets for some reason.
Yes.
And the Browns. The Browns have stunk for 40 years, and they still talk about them like they won 5 Super Bowls in the past 10 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, all you can do is just kind of scratch your head at that.
Yeah, and that's just crazy about the media. And like what happens is they make a story about Brady and Arians. If you can't take your coach calling you out, I don't want you on the team anyway. That's just how I look at it. And I believe Brady's fine. Brady's cool.
Brady don't care.
Yeah, because that's who Arians is.
Yeah.
That's kind of like women still dating Future and complaining about Future being who he is. You know what he is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 20 years worth of film almost on this man. You know what you got here.
The dude literally couldn't get a head coaching job because they thought he said the F-bomb too much, is essentially from everything I've read about Arians from his history, because he obviously was a successful offensive coordinator, but never could get that next jump just because he cussed.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what? And the one drawback I think that maybe an Arians character flaw, and it kind of hits with a lot of these many offensive-minded coaches, where many of them are stubborn to their system.
Yes.
And ironically, many defensive guys are flexible. Bill Belichick is one of the most flexible coaches ever.
Yeah.
And Mike Tomlin, they air it out. He's a defensive guy. Even in college, he got like the Savings of the world where they flexible and change. And Bob Stoops was in Oklahoma. He was there. He was a defensive guy. So,
but like you say, and I like that point that you brought up right there, because if something's not working in the first half, you can damn well bet your ass it's not going to be in the second half. They're not going to be going with the same play. And they're not trying to shove that square peg in a round hole.
They even changed their systems by games. or their play calls. Like, jeez, like that's why Bill Belichick and all his coaches.
That's why he's been
successful.
able to survive and do what he's done all these years.
Yeah.
Yep. And,
so
and that's why, like, even go ahead, Gene.
No, I was gonna say. So, what is your score? I want to kind of get your final score and tell everybody listening who they need to be looking for in this game or who they need to be watching out for.
Oh crap!
Put him on the spot.
I think the score should be the score. I think it'll be like 24-10 because I think they're gonna go conservative in this game because they know they got these guys defensively. So I think it'll be 24-10. I'm looking at honestly because I believe the tight end. I'm not even worried about that because I believe that Howard's always been overrated because he was in college. Brock is done, but hey, he's got to be realistic and break.
Wait, in Alabama players overrated?
He went to Alabama though, dude. What are you talking about?
Hey, O.J. Howard was overrated in college. He couldn't get open unless it was a trick play in college. And he was a soft receiver in college.
I'm just messing with you, man.
Hey, a lot of us Alabama fans been yelling about him when he was there, but I do want to see this running game be able because I know Fournette had the big run. You're not gonna get those every day. You don't gonna get those a couple times out the season. It's about getting 4-5 yards consistently because for so many years since Doug Martin's rookie year in his contract year, kind of a theme with Doug Martin there, with the money on the table, this team has always seen a lot of 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10. If they get consistent 4-5 yards of carry, that will make the offense better. And because Brady is not the same guy. You know, the reaction time a little bit. Well, he is getting older, so you want to make the game as easy for him as possible where he doesn't have to be in 3rd and longs that often because his pass rushes are too good. And I think that's the key. And one thing about Fournette, I think y'all talked about him, he's been nicked up in college as well. And so that's why I think Arians going to have to make sure he keeps Ronald Jones in the game as well.
Yeah,
because he's probably gonna need Ronald Jones.
Yeah,
because Fournette is not a Derrick Henry. Where Derrick Henry, this dude takes a beating every week. He still don't miss a game.
Yeah, he's a house. Isn't that what you call him in Alabama? A house.
They call him a house, man. HAWSE.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before I go, I gotta shout you guys out because I like you guys, Evan, a lot of other guys who actually watch the games, who pay attention, and like. It ain't just talking about, I hate to say this, James threw a pick. It ain't just that type of media.
Yeah.
You know? It's about other things because this is one thing about the media I hate, right? They act like Donovan Smith was a rookie. Like, this dude's been here for 6 years now.
Yeah.
They just figured out who he was. And that's what I hate about the media. And it's like, if they like you, they will cape for you. Carson Wentz stunk since he tore his knee up.
Yeah, he has not been right.
Yeah, but they still love him.
Yeah.
Drew Brees been washed. They still hanging on to a Super Bowl he won with W wasn't awesome. Why are you still hanging on to that? Why are you still hanging on to that? At least Brady has some recently, and Brady, even though I think he's at the back 9 on hole 17. He has more physical talent there still than Drew Brees. Drew Brees can't throw the ball 10 yards. At least Brady can still push it some. And I think, and I think that it kind of got me thinking because I thought the Bucs wouldn't make the playoffs. I think they should make the playoffs now.
I really do, man. I tell you what, T. Smitty, let's revisit this. I especially want you to call in week 6. To me, and I've always said, and this is why I've always said this. You have contenders and pretenders at the beginning of the season. A team goes out 1-0, 1-0 to 3-0, and you're like, oh man, this team's going to be dominant. And I've seen where week 4, week 5, week 6, the wheels fall off, and then you see the team for who they really are. And I've seen that year in and year out. So there are teams that are the darlings at the beginning of the season, and they're a bunch of scrubs by the time the season's over. So I'm really curious to see where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are week 6. And are they consistently on that same trajectory they were where they are right now? So definitely want to hear from you then.
Well, to your point, Gene.
And I will call and I'll say.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry,
Go, T. Smitty, go. Go, T. Smitty, go.
Oh, and I'll say my last thing here. These are the games that they usually lost because of the things we talked about.
Right.
And the backup quarterback curse. If we played Case Keenum every week, he'd be a Hall of Fame. He'd be the GOAT. So these are the games you cannot lose these games in the NFL because even though it's been a playoff spot, these are the games you have to win because you got a tough Chargers team coming in next week.
Yeah.
That's a team with a great defensive front, great defense, and a rookie quarterback who's promising who has weapons. So you got to win these games against the teams that you're supposed to beat. And I don't care if it's 17-10 or 17-14. Just get the damn job done and just improve on the decision making, improve on like the no penalties, and I just want I hope Brady I hope Brady doesn't throw a pick. I just hope they continue to put a system in where they make Brady comfortable because it ain't about. If I was in flying Bruce Arians' wall, I would say, hey, bro, it ain't about you being right. It's about winning games because you win games, you are gonna be right. If you lose going down your way, they're gonna blame you for this. And if you want to increase your enhance your legacy, help Tom out.
That's all you can do, man. That's all you can do. Kenny, go ahead with your thought, man.
Yeah. Oh, no.
All right, man. Thank you for calling in. Again, you're always welcome. Longtime listener, T. Smitty. He will definitely be calling back in with his insight. You're always appreciated, brother. Go ahead, Kenny.
I was going to say, because I mean, all we have to do is go back to Fitzmagic. I mean, we had the hottest 2-0 start of my lifetime. And I mean, I didn't think that we'd win, 10 or plus games or whatever. But when you start out 2-0, especially the way the Bucs did it against the Saints and the Eagles, like coming off the Super Bowl, everyone thought that, Fitzmagic was gonna, spark us to do something. And then next thing you know, we win 5 games that year after starting off 2-0, and then playing against these teams like the Broncos that are 0-2 that are basically fighting tooth and nail because you have a 12% chance of making the playoffs at 0-2 to start your season. If it's 0-3, it's 1%. You have to win every game from here on out. So you can't take any team lightly, like T. Smitty was saying, because you might be 1-1, 2-0. But if you're playing an 0-2 team, they're fighting for their season. Every game's a Super Bowl from there on out.
And they have nothing to lose. They're going all out to win that game.
At home, with fans, granted, no fans, but small fans.
Speaking of fans, what are your thoughts about
the big news?
The big news. I want to get your thoughts on that. What do you think? I mean,
well, I think it's closely tied to what DeSantis did, and I don't want to get political and everything,
but
it's definitely the reason why they were opening it up. Apparently, it seemed like they had plans for the following game against the Packers to open up to fans, but it just gave them an opportunity to have a little test run with some, which for fans is great. Hopefully you're a season ticket holder because if you're not, you're paying a lot on the secondary market for the tickets. I even looked at the Broncos game just for the heck of it. Upper level seats were running for $5,000.
Jeez, like a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
freaking ridiculous.
More than a Super Bowl. You could get an upper ticket for 2 or 3 for a Super Bowl, at least last time I checked. Because of course I looked at Tampa Bay for the upcoming year.
Yeah, I'm really hoping to get this all under control because I really need to go to the NFL experience. Me and my son, we have kind of this rivalry thing, and he calls me the old man, and he thinks he's got a bigger arm than me, so we're gonna have to shut him up.
Hey, I'll never forget.
I know you hear this.
I'll never forget my first one when the Bucs or the Raymond James hosted the Super Bowl for the Ravens, and who did they beat? I forgot
Giants?
Who they beat.
No, not the Giants. Who did the Ravens beat? Because Trent Dilfer was the quarterback.
Yeah, and then the Bucs obviously went the next year, but oh shit, I forgot they won a Super Bowl since. But yeah, okay, whatever Super Bowl they won, it was at Raymond James, and that was seriously the most fun experience that. As I think I was 7 at the time, 7, 8. It was perfect. Me and my dad doing all those different things with so many. I mean, a lot of them are Bucs fans too.
Yeah.
And obviously you see all the other people coming in for their teams, but it was so fun, man.
Yeah. And I've only missed, I think 93 was the only one that I missed for Tampa. I mean, I've been to all the rest of them. The one in 08 was fun. Going through that with my son was real little at that time. And then we went to the one in Miami, the NFL experience there. I've been to the NFL experience here in Arizona when they had the Super Bowl as well. So it's one of those things I've enjoyed it, and I'm just proud to say that Tampa's got the NFL experience in Tampa. So again, gonna make some fun, have some fun with this. Buck Skull Gang in the house. I did want to mention, guys, be sure to watch this Tampa Bay Lightning game. The Lightning could bring Lord Stanley's Cup home. I do remember being at the stadium, or at the arena, I should say arena. I'm thinking stadium. I was at the arena when, at a couple of the games, I was dating somebody who was, she was a huge hockey fan, and she got me, into, the Lightning, and I just kind of fell away because football is life. Everything else is just details. But, again, just seeing this team continuously in the playoffs, and, everybody talked about that window closing, and they've got an opportunity to actually make this come to fruition. And I have not been more proud of a city than I am with Tampa and what they've done like right now.
And not only that, I think that speaks to the ownership. The Vinicks have done a lot with,
Can they buy the Rays? Can they please buy the Rays?
That's what I was hoping, man. When they were talking about a downtown stadium, that's what I thought the Vinicks would be a perfect fit. And I mean, I don't know how many owners obviously own multiple teams and different sports. Some do, but most don't. So I didn't know if that was something they'd even be interested in. But like the way that they've gotten the fans involved, because I remember when I was going to Lightning games around that time, like basically they were giving away tickets. Like it was like the old Yuccaneers. Like
you could find tickets. You could find 2 tickets on your windshield wiper in Winn-Dixie parking lot.
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and then not only see like the way that they've been able to engage the fans, they have a beautiful arena that people want to go to and support, and they have the right kind of personalities. And even though when they changed coaches, they changed it to another great coach, there has been no, big dips whenever. Yeah, if anything, we've had too high of expectations for the Lightning. Like, can you even imagine, like, for the Bucks or any other team, whatever sport, like other than the Patriots?
And fans have settled for mediocrity from the Bucks, over the years. So yeah, man, the whole mindset has to change. Again, that's where I'm at. I mean, you've got to see a return on investment. I mean, Jason Light came in here. He made some moves. He made a lot of moves that didn't work, but he made moves that did work. So as far as I can see, I mean, the Bucks are doing what they need to do right now. I think they're putting themselves in a position to be competitive in the playoffs. So that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing, and I hope the best for it. And again, that's kind of where we are. But hey, I'll let you get back to your Saturday, man. I thought we would jump on here and talk a little pregame here. And I want to shout out some of my friends out there. Ruth the Truth, thank you for letting me call in here to the Martin Grammatica show and chop it up with you guys for a little bit. That's greatly appreciated. I will be getting you on here sooner or later. I've got some really cool guests lined up for the show, and I want to get some of the listeners on as well, because without the listeners, this show ain't nothing. And
are you going to tell them, or are you going to tease them for the
I'm just going to tease them. Hey, you got to
tease them, baby. It's a good one.
And again, just if you don't know, the show is Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I will say this, we did do a special show with Trevor Sikkema. It would normally be Wednesday, but this was the only time I could get him on. We will go back to regular schedule, which is Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you get a chance to check us out, please check us out. We appreciate that. Appreciate all the love and support. Any final thoughts before we roll out of here?
My last final thought, don't hate Jason Light for a lot of things that he's done. As you can tell, I think he believes in head coaches being very involved in coaching staffs and the scouting process. And I think his drafts under BA have been pretty darn good. So I mean, you could nitpick Matt Gay and a couple 6th, 7th rounders, but like they don't really make the rosters really anyway. So I mean, it is what it is. Like, don't freak out. I think just approach this Sunday as if it's another game.
Go out and take care of business.
Root them on. Hopefully they stay consistent or become more consistent. That's the goal. And I think we'll have good news on Sunday at night because it's a 4:00 kickoff.
There we go. For me, it's all about being consistent. Execution is very important. I know that sounds very cliche, but it's a fact. You got to go out and execute the play that's been laid out for you if you want to be successful. And I think honestly, that's where we all need to be. And this is going to be a W if the Bucks can go out and do that. So that's pretty much it for us. I'm Gene Thomas. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard, and Kenny
At Bucks_Barrett.
There we go. And we are out of here. Everybody have a good weekend, and go Bucks.
Go Bucks.